This week's project is one that I've been wanting to get to for a long time, and now that spring is here, the timing couldn't be more perfect. So for this project, I've teamed up with craftsmen to help me bring the pergola to life. The first thing that I needed to do here was to dig a couple of holes for the 6x6s that will hold up the rest of the structure. And I made sure to dig those holes that they were going to be wide enough and deep enough to support the completed project. And this is going to be placed right outside the patio, behind a small picket fence that separates the patio from the yard. I just didn't want to take up any of the patio space, and that's why I'm placing it here. Also, I just didn't have a good way to secure the post if I were to place it directly on the patio or the concrete slab. So that's the reason why I chose to put it here. Now, after I level the post up and let the concrete cure, I could then start on the cross member and all of the support pieces. So as I mentioned, this project is supported by craftsmen, and I'm also using their new cordless 20-volt tools to build this pergola. It's just nice to carry the tools outside the shop and into the build location. That way I don't have to worry about cords or any of that mess. So it's really nice having these cordless tools just at an arm's reach. But speaking of the project, between the two main 6x6 posts is going to be a cross member, and from that cross member down to the post are going to be corner braces, and I'll drill through these corner braces with a 3/8 of an inch drill bit, or as in this case, I'm using what I call a bell hanger. It's just a longer drill bit, but it's 3/8 of an inch, and this is going to allow me to insert the bolts that will secure the support pieces to the main post and the cross member itself, and this will secure everything in place. After the first corner brace was installed, I decided to pre-drill a recess for the washer and nut to sit in, and this just made for a cleaner look after the bolts were installed, and also this would just eliminate the risk of someone snagging one of the bolts. So the next step was to start on the main overhang structure. In order for this to be secure, I needed to add more angled braces, one from each of the main posts, connecting a couple of 2x8s, which are going to be the main overhang pieces. Now, these 2x8s will support adjacent 2x6s and 2x2s that will ultimately, in the end, provide shade. Now, another angled brace on the back of each main post, also connecting to the 2x8s, will act as counterweights to support the overhang. This will all make sense once you see the structure start coming together. But getting these little corner braces and the bolts in the right location is really an important part of this build, because this is a two-legged pergola versus a four-legged pergola. So this is a really cool design. I have to give credit to several places online. I just kind of grabbed different elements from different styles and just kind of made it my own. But really excited about this design, especially on a small patio like I have. This is going to fit in a smaller area where you don't have room for four main posts. Now, as you can see, these are the rear support braces acting as counterweights. This is an important part of the overhang. Without these braces in place, the overhang would likely sag over time. Now, once all the braces were in place and secured, I could go ahead and start on the 2x6s. Now, each one of these 2x6s would receive a decorative curve cut out on each end to add some visual interest. The way I went about creating these curves was with a paint stick or a stirring stick. I measured and marked 1-inch increments and drilled a hole at each measurement. And then I secured the stick with a nail at the 0 measurement and used a pencil at any of the other marks, whatever your desired curve should be, to create a consistent curve I could then cut out. To secure the 2x6s on their edge, I cut out notches that would fit over the adjacent 2x8s, and just nailed them into place. And I cut the notches a little bit bigger than I needed to allow for a couple different things. Number one, wood movement, and then also just imperfect boards. But spacing these evenly across the 2x8s gives the pergola a good dose of symmetry, which I like. And at this point, I could have just added 2x2s instead of the 2x6s, and it probably would have turned out okay. But I wanted to add a little more of a wow factor to the overall project. And with the 2x6s and the curved cutouts, I think it gives me what I'm looking for. But there's one more layer to the top. I used my Craftsman battery-operated miter saw to cut each of these at each end at a 45-degree angle, and that was just to create some visual interest. So I would just cut one end, flip it around, and I made sure I was cutting in the right direction because I wanted both angles going in a downward direction on both ends of the pergola. So that was just for, like I said, visual interest. But I placed these evenly across the top of the 2x6s, and I just nailed them directly into the 2x6s through the 2x2s with like a 2-inch brad nail. And that also gave the whole top, or all of the 2x6s that I've already put into place, this really just tied everything together and just really secured everything. The final steps here are to sand away the rough areas, stain it, and add a protective finish. And with that, you can pretty much call this pergola complete. So as you can see, we're finished. I added some outdoor party lights to match the outdoor kitchen area. That's a project that I just finished here recently. So if you missed that project, be sure and check it out. If you're interested in learning how to build this pergola for yourself, I do have plans available. They're listed over on my website. I also have a detailed website article where I go into more details and provide more information on how I did everything. So all those links are down below. Be sure and check them out. This came out better than I expected. And just going through the motions here, kind of give you a little recap of what went into this. You know, it was very doable DIY. I did this by myself. I recommend having someone help you, but you can do this project. This is something that is very rewarding to be able to enjoy outside on your patio. So I encourage all of you to check out the website article, get the plans, and do this project. If you're not a subscriber here, please subscribe to see more videos. Hit that little bell to be notified. I have some pretty cool projects coming out real soon. And as always, thanks for watching.